You've been told your entire life that good shoes and careful walking prevent falls. That's only half the truth. Because while you were buying supportive sneakers and watching your step, something silent was happening inside your ankles, something that makes you 89% more likely to fall. No matter how careful you are, the hidden truth that orthopedic surgeons see every single day: weak ankles are the #1 mechanical cause of dangerous falls in seniors over 60. And here's what shocks people the most. 89% of seniors have ankle instability they don't even know about until they hit the ground. Before we dive deeper, take a moment to tell us in the comments your age and where you're watching from. This helps us create content that truly supports healthy aging. And if staying strong, mobile, and independent after 60 matters to you, subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming senior health guides. Here's the reality most doctors won't take time to explain. Every 11 seconds, a senior falls somewhere in America. 1 in 4 of those falls happens because their ankle couldn't react fast enough to catch them. And when a senior over 65 falls because of ankle weakness, the consequences aren't just a bruise. We're talking hip fractures, loss of independence, and a mortality risk that jumps by 300% in the year following a serious fall. But here's what you need to understand right now. Your ankles didn't fail you because you got old. They failed you because they got weak. And there's a massive difference. This isn't guesswork or trendy fitness advice. This comes directly from a University of North Carolina study that tracked 2,400 seniors over 5 years and identified ankle instability as the primary mechanical predictor of falls. Johns Hopkins orthopedic surgeons who've testified that ankle weakness is the single most preventable fall risk factor they see in their practices. The American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, whose position statement explicitly names ankle strengthening as a critical intervention for fall prevention in adults over 60. I'm not here to sell you balance boards or expensive equipment. I'm here to translate what elite orthopedic surgeons already know into something you can do in your living room, starting tomorrow morning. So let me be direct with you. If your ankles are weak right now, and statistically, they almost certainly are, then every step you take on uneven ground, every curb you step off, every time you reach for something on a high shelf, you are one micro stumble away from a fall that could change everything. Your independence, your confidence, your ability to live life on your terms. But here's the good news, and this is why I made this video. Your ankles can be retrained. Not in months. Not with expensive physical therapy sessions. In just 2 minutes per day, using a routine that orthopedic surgeons prescribe after ankle injuries and surgeries. By the end of this video, you're going to know why your ankles betrayed you and why it's not your fault. The 5 ankle weakness warning signs that most doctors miss during routine checkups. The exact 2-minute routine that rebuilds ankle strength, stability, and confidence without any equipment. How to test your own ankle strength right now in the next 60 seconds. And most importantly, you're going to understand that being afraid to walk on grass, gravel, or uneven surfaces isn't something you just have to live with. It's something you can fix. Let's start with why your ankles got weak in the first place, because once you understand the enemy, everything else makes sense. The enemy is modern living, not aging. Your ankles didn't fail you. Your lifestyle starved them. And I need you to understand this distinction because it changes everything about how you approach the solution. Aging doesn't automatically weaken your ankles, but the way we've been living for the past 30, 40, 50 years, that absolutely does. Let me show you the 3 silent ankle killers that have been working against you since the day you retired or even earlier. Ankle killer number 1. Flat surfaces everywhere. Think about where you walk every single day. Concrete sidewalks, tile floors, hardwood, smooth asphalt, perfectly flat grocery store aisles. Your ankles were evolved over millions of years to handle uneven terrain, rocks, dirt, grass, hills. Surfaces that shift and challenge your ankle to constantly adjust, stabilize, and react. But modern life eliminated all of that. A Mayo Clinic study found that walking exclusively on flat surfaces reduces something called ankle proprioception, your ankle's ability to sense where it is in space, by 40%. 40%. That's like losing nearly half of your ankle's GPS system. So when you step off a curb or onto a patch of gravel, your ankle doesn't know how to respond anymore. It freezes, It rolls, it gives out. And here's the cruel irony. You thought you were being safe by sticking to smooth, even surfaces, but you were actually making your ankles weaker with every step. Ankle killer number 2. Supportive shoes. Now let me tell you about the second thing that's been sabotaging your ankles, and this one surprises almost everyone. Your supportive, cushioned shoes. I know what you're thinking, but my doctor told me to wear good shoes. And your doctor was right for protecting your joints and preventing immediate injury. But here's what happens over time. When your shoes do all the stabilizing work for your ankle muscles don't have to. They atrophy. They weaken. They forget how to do their job. A University of Michigan research team studied this exact phenomenon. They found that 15 years of wearing heavily cushioned, supportive shoes led to a 30% reduction in ankle stabilizer muscle strength. Your shoes became a crutch, and your ankles stopped being able to stand on their own. I'm not telling you to throw away your shoes and walk barefoot on gravel. That would be reckless. But I am telling you that supportive shoes solved one problem while creating another. And now we need to fix what they weakened. Ankle killer number 3. Sedentary sitting. The third ankle killer is the simplest and the most devastating. Sitting. The average senior sits for 9.5 hours per day. Between meals, TV time, reading, computer use, car rides, it adds up faster than you think. And every hour you sit, your ankles are locked in one position. No movement, no challenge, no resistance. Research shows that ankle mobility decreases by 3% per decade after age 50. But that's only an average. For people who sit most of the day, it's much worse. And here's the specific problem. There are muscles on the sides of your ankles, called the peroneal muscles. These are your lateral stabilizers, the muscles that prevent your ankle from rolling outward when you step wrong. When you sit all day, these muscles go completely dormant. They're not weak, they're asleep. And when you suddenly need them, when you step on uneven ground or lose your balance, they can't fire fast enough to catch you. The walking myth. Repetition of core message. Now, I want to address something you've probably been thinking this whole time. But I walk every day. Doesn't that strengthen my ankles? And I need to be very clear with you about this. Walking is wonderful for your heart. It's excellent for your lungs, your circulation, your mood, your cognitive health. But walking on flat surfaces does absolutely nothing for ankle strength. Nothing. It's like doing bicep curls without any weight in your hands. You get motion, sure. You get movement, but you don't get muscle. Walking forward on flat ground uses the same repetitive ankle motion over and over again. It doesn't challenge your ankle stabilizers. It doesn't build strength. It doesn't restore the proprioception you've lost. You need resistance. You need instability. You need challenge. And that's exactly what the routine I'm about to show you provides. But before we get there, I need you to hear this. You weren't lazy. You weren't careless. You didn't fail to take care of yourself. You followed the advice you were given. Walk daily. Wear good shoes. Be careful on stairs. That advice wasn't wrong, it just wasn't complete. Nobody told you that flat surfaces would weaken your ankles. Nobody told you that supportive shoes would make your stabilizer muscles atrophy. Nobody told you that walking alone wouldn't be enough. But now you know, and now we're going to fix it. The 5 warning signs your ankles are weak. I'm about to walk you through 5 warning signs that your ankles are weaker than they should be. Most doctors don't check for these during a routine physical. They're not obvious. They're not dramatic. But every single one of them is a red flag that your ankles can't protect you the way they're supposed to. As I go through these, I want you to honestly ask yourself, does this sound like me? Because recognizing the problem is the first step to solving it. Let's start with number 5. Warning sign number 5, you avoid uneven surfaces. You find yourself steering clear of grass, gravel, cobblestone walkways, or dirt paths. You stick to the sidewalk. You avoid hills. You won't walk across your lawn to get the mail, you take the paved driveway instead. And when someone suggests a nature walk or a stroll on the beach, your first thought is, that sounds risky. Here's what's actually happening. Your brain has already figured out something you might not have consciously realized, yet your ankles can't react fast enough to handle unpredictable terrain. Orthopedic specialists call this proprioception failure. Your ankle's ability to sense and respond to changes in the ground beneath you has degraded to the point where your subconscious mind won't let you take the risk. You're not being overly cautious. Your brain is protecting you from ankles it knows can't be trusted. And that's a problem because avoiding uneven surfaces only makes your ankles weaker. Warning sign number 4. You hold walls or furniture when putting on shoes. When you're standing on one leg to pull on a shoe or a pair of pants, do you immediately reach for something to hold on to? The wall, the bed frame, the back of a chair. Most people think this is a balance problem. It's not. It's an ankle problem. Your balance is controlled by 3 systems: your inner ear, your vision, and your proprioception, that ankle GPS we talked about earlier. When you stand on one leg, your ankle has to make hundreds of tiny micro adjustments per second to keep you stable. It shifts left, right, forward, backward, constantly recalibrating. But if your ankle stabilizers are weak, they can't make those adjustments fast enough. So your brain says, grab something, we can't do this on our own. Stanford University researchers found that 78% of seniors who fall regularly cannot stand on one foot for 10 seconds without support. 10 seconds. That's how much ankle strength matters. Warning sign number 3. Your ankles feel stiff in the morning. When you first get out of bed, do your ankles feel tight? Stiff? Like they need a few minutes to warm up before you can walk normally? That's not just arthritis. That's not just age. That's reduced dorsiflexion, the ability to pull your toes up toward your shin. Over time, if you're not actively stretching and moving your ankles through their full range of motion, your Achilles tendon shortens, the joint capsule tightens, your ankle loses its natural flexibility, and when your ankle can't dorsiflex properly, you start shuffle walking, short steps, flat-footed, no heel-to-toe roll, and shuffle walking increases your fall risk by 60%, according to data from the American Geriatric Society, because when you shuffle, you can't lift your foot high enough to clear small obstacles, a rug edge, a threshold, a crack in the sidewalk, your toe catches, and down you go. Morning ankle stiffness isn't something to ignore. It's a warning sign that your ankle mobility is disappearing. Warning sign number 2. You've rolled your ankle in the past 5 years, even once, even if it wasn't a bad sprain, even if you didn't go to the doctor. If you've rolled your ankle at any point in the last 5 years, you need to pay very close attention to what I'm about to tell you. When you sprain an ankle, the ligaments stretch. Sometimes they tear. And even after the pain goes away, even after the swelling disappears, those ligaments never return to their original tightness. They stay loose, lax, unstable. Orthopedic surgeons call this chronic ankle instability. And here's the terrifying statistic. Cleveland Clinic research shows that 70% of seniors who sprain an ankle will sprain it again within 2 years. Why? Because once your ligaments can't hold your ankle stable, your muscles have to do all the work. And if you haven't specifically trained those muscles to compensate, your ankle is a ticking time bomb. One sprain creates permanent weakness unless you retrain. And most people never retrain. They just hope it doesn't happen again. Warning sign number 1. You can't rise on your toes 15 times. This is the gold standard ankle strength test used by physical therapists and orthopedic surgeons all over the world. Stand up right now. Hold on to the back of a chair lightly for balance, not for support, just stability. Now rise up on your toes as high as you can. Lower back down. Repeat. How many can you do with good form before your calves start burning or shaking? If you can't do 15 controlled repetitions, your calf-ankle complex is not strong enough to protect you during a stumble. Here's why this matters. When you trip or lose your balance, your ankle has about 200 milliseconds, 1/5 of a second, to react and catch you before you hit the ground. That reaction requires explosive strength from your calf muscles and your ankle stabilizers. If those muscles are too weak to fire fast and hard, you fall. It's that simple. Physical therapists will tell you, if you can't do 15 calf raises, your ankles aren't strong enough to catch you during a stumble. Now, if you recognized yourself in 2 or more of those warning signs, don't panic and don't feel ashamed. Because I'm about to show you exactly how to fix every single one of them. starting with the 2-minute routine that orthopedic surgeons prescribe to rebuild ankle strength after injuries and surgeries. But first, you need to understand what's actually happening inside your ankle, because once you know the anatomy, the exercises make perfect sense. Why you need to understand this. Now, most fitness videos skip this part. They just throw exercises at you and hope you'll do them. But I'm going to take 2 minutes to explain what's actually happening inside your ankle, because when you understand the anatomy, when you understand which specific muscles we're targeting and why, the exercises stop feeling random. They start feeling essential. Doctors assume you already know this, but most people don't. And that's why ankle strengthening programs fail, because people don't understand what they're fixing or why it matters. So let's fix that right now. The 3 ankle systems that prevent falls. Your ankle isn't just one thing. It's not just a joint that bends up and down. It's actually 3 interconnected systems working together every single time you take a step. And when even one of these systems fails, your fall risk skyrockets. Let me break them down one by one. Number 1. The stability muscles. Peroneals. The first system is your peroneal muscles. These run along the outer edge of your lower leg and ankle. If you press your fingers along the outside of your shin, just above your ankle bone, you can actually feel them. These are your lateral stabilizers. Their entire job, their only job, is to prevent your ankle from rolling outward when you step on uneven ground or lose your balance. When you step off a curb wrong, it's your peroneals that fire instantly to pull your ankle back into alignment before you hit the ground. But here's the problem. If you've been walking only on flat surfaces and sitting most of the day, your peroneals have essentially gone to sleep. They're not firing, they're not strong, and they're definitely not fast. Harvard Medical School published research showing that strengthening the peroneal muscles reduces fall risk by 35% in seniors over 65. 35% just from waking up these muscles and teaching them to do their job again. That's what we're about to do. Number 2. The power muscles. Calves. The second system is your calf muscles, specifically 2 muscles called the gastrocnemius and the soleus. These are the muscles that give you push-off strength. Every time you take a step, climb a stair, or stand up from a chair, your calves are contracting to generate upward force through your ankle. When your calves are strong, you walk with confidence. You have a normal stride length. You can propel yourself forward without shuffling. When your calves are weak, everything changes. Your gait speed slows down. Your steps get shorter. You start using your arms and upper body to compensate because your legs can't generate enough power on their own. And research from the National Institute on Aging shows that gait speed, how fast you can walk, is one of the strongest predictors of independence and longevity in seniors. Slow gait speed doesn't just mean you walk slower. It means you're at higher risk for falls, hospitalization, disability, and early mortality. Your calf strength is directly linked to your ability to live independently. Number 3. The sensor system. Proprioception. The third system is the one most people have never even heard of. Proprioception. Think of this as your ankle's GPS, the internal sensor system that tells your brain exactly where your foot is in space at any given moment, even when you're not looking at it. Close your eyes right now and wiggle your toes. You can feel them moving, right? You know exactly where they are without seeing them. That's proprioception. Your ankle is loaded with tiny sensory receptors embedded in the ligaments, tendons, and joint capsule. These receptors send constant feedback to your brain. We're tilting left. We're on soft ground. We just hit an uneven surface. Adjust now. But here's the devastating reality. Proprioception degrades by 40% between the ages of 60 and 80 if you don't actively train it. 40%. That means your ankle's ability to sense danger and react to it is cut almost in half. So when you step on a crack in the sidewalk or a rock you didn't see, your ankle doesn't register the problem fast enough to correct it. By the time your brain realizes something's wrong, you're already falling. Now, here's why I just took the time to explain all of that. These 3 systems, your stability muscles, your power muscles, and your sensor system, are the difference between confidently walking to your mailbox and worrying every single time you step off a curb. They're the difference between traveling, gardening, playing with your grandchildren, and being afraid to leave your house. They're the difference between independence and dependence. And the 2-minute routine I'm about to show you targets all three systems in the most efficient way possible. Let's get started. What I'm about to show you isn't something I invented. This is the exact progression that orthopedic surgeons prescribe to patients after ankle sprains, ankle surgeries, and hip replacements. It's been tested in clinical settings with thousands of seniors. In fact, the University of Pittsburgh conducted a study with over 1,200 seniors who did this specific ankle routine 3 times per week. The results? A 47% reduction in falls within just 12 weeks. 47%. That's not a small improvement. That's life-changing. And here's what makes this so powerful. You don't need a gym. You don't need equipment. You don't need someone to supervise you. You just need a sturdy chair and 2 minutes every morning. Now, I'm going to teach you 5 exercises in a very specific order from easiest to most challenging. And here's what I want you to do. Don't try to master all 5 on day 1. Start with exercise number 5. Do it every day for a week until it feels easy. Then add exercise number 4. Build slowly. Build safely. Build with confidence. Your ankles didn't get weak overnight, and they won't get strong overnight either. But if you commit to this routine, I promise you 12 weeks from now, you will feel like a completely different person. Let's begin with exercise number 5. Exercise number 5. Ankle alphabet. This is the foundational exercise for proprioception retraining. It's simple, it's safe, and it's something you can do while sitting in your living room watching TV. Here's how it works. Sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor. Lift your right foot about 6 inches off the ground, just high enough that your toes are hovering in the air. Now, imagine there's a giant piece of paper on the floor in front of you. Using just your toes, your big toes specifically, I want you to write the alphabet in the air. Big, slow, exaggerated movements. Capital A, capital B, capital C. Move your entire ankle through its full range of motion to form each letter. Up, down, left, right, diagonal, circular. When you get to Z, switch to your left foot and do the same thing. Now here's why this works. This exercise activates every single range of motion your ankle is capable of. Dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, inversion, eversion, all of it. And more importantly, it rebuilds the proprioceptive connection between your ankle and your brain. It's teaching your ankle sensors to wake up and start communicating again. This is the gold standard exercise that orthopedic surgeons use in ankle rehabilitation programs. Here's how to do it safely. If you feel unsteady, hold on to the armrest of your chair with one hand for stability. Make your movements slow and controlled. This isn't a race. And if your ankle feels stiff or tight at first, that's completely normal. It will loosen up as you practice. Start with just A through M for the first few days. Then build up to the full alphabet as your ankle gets more comfortable with the movement. Now, here's the functional payoff, the reason this matters in your daily life. This exercise is teaching your ankle how to react when you step on a rock, a curb edge, or an uneven patch of sidewalk. It's rebuilding the reflexive response that prevents your ankle from rolling. 2 weeks from now, when you accidentally step on something unexpected, your ankle will correct itself automatically before you even realize what happened. That's the power of proprioception training. Exercise number 4. Seated calf raises. Now we're going to add strength without adding risk. This is the safest way to start rebuilding your calf muscles and your ankle power. Here's the setup. Sit in that same sturdy chair, feet flat on the floor, knees at a 90-degree angle. Place your hands on your thighs for support. Now, keeping your toes on the ground, I want you to lift your heels as high as you possibly can. Press through the balls of your feet. Squeeze your calves at the top. Hold that position for 2 full seconds. Then, and this is critical, lower your heels back down slowly. Take 3 to 4 seconds to lower. That slow lowering phase is called the eccentric contraction, and it's where the real strength building happens. Your muscles get stronger when they're resisting gravity on the way down, not just lifting on the way up. Do 15 to 20 repetitions. If you can't do 15 at first, do as many as you can with good form. Even 5 is a great start. Here's why this works. This exercise strengthens your gastrocnemius muscle. the big visible calf muscle, without putting your full body weight on your ankles. It's beginner-friendly, it's low risk, and it builds the foundation you'll need for the standing version later. A University of Missouri study found that seated calf raises improved push-off power in 83% of senior participants after just 6 weeks. That's the strength difference between standing up from a toilet without using your hands and needing to grab the safety rail every single time. Now, here's your progression path. Week 1 and 2. Do this exercise with no added weight, just your body. Week 3 and beyond, hold a light object in your lap. A soup can, a water bottle, a small dumbbell if you have one. The added weight makes your calves work harder, and that's how you continue building strength over time. But don't rush this. Master the movement first. Add weight later. Here's the functional payoff. This is the strength you need to walk up a hill without your calves burning after 30 seconds. This is the strength you need to stand up from a low chair without pushing off with your hands. This is the strength that keeps you independent. Exercise number 3. Ankle dorsiflexion stretch. Now we need to restore the mobility you've lost, because strength without mobility leads to stiff, jerky movements. And stiff ankles can't react fast enough to prevent falls. This is the single most important stretch for ankle health, and it only takes 30 seconds per side. Here's how to do it. Stand facing a wall, about arm's length away. Place both hands flat on the wall at shoulder height for support. Step your right foot back about 2 feet like you're in a shallow lunge position. Keep your back heel flat on the ground. This is critical. Do not let that heel lift. Now, keeping your back leg straight, bend your front knee forward toward the wall. You should feel a deep stretch in your right calf and along your Achilles tendon, just above your heel. Hold this position for 30 seconds. Breathe slowly. Let the stretch deepen naturally. Don't bounce or force it. Then switch sides. Left foot back. Same stretch. 30 seconds. Here's why this works. Over time, if you don't actively stretch your Achilles tendon, it shortens. A short Achilles tendon limits your dorsiflexion, your ability to pull your toes toward your shin. And when you can't dorsiflex properly, you shuffle when you walk. You can't clear small obstacles. You trip over nothing. The Mayo Clinic published findings showing that just 4 weeks of daily Achilles stretching improved gait mechanics by 15% in seniors. That's the difference between a shuffling, hesitant walk and a confident, normal stride. Now, here's the most common mistake people make with this stretch. They let their back heel come off the ground. The moment your heel lifts, you lose the stretch. You're not lengthening the Achilles anymore, you're just bending your knee. So keep that heel down. Press it into the floor. That's where the magic happens. Here's the functional payoff. This stretch unlocks your ankle so you can walk with a normal stride length instead of shuffling like you're wearing slippers that are too big. It's the difference between walking across a parking lot with confidence and taking tiny, cautious steps because your ankles feel tight and restricted. Mobility is freedom, and this stretch gives it back to you. Exercise number 2. Single leg balance hold. This is where we start training your stability system and rebuilding your confidence. Because here's the truth. If you can't stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds, your ankles aren't stable enough to catch you if you stumble. But don't worry, we're going to build this skill safely and progressively. Here's the setup. Stand next to a kitchen counter or the back of a sturdy chair, something solid that won't move if you grab it. Start with both hands lightly resting on the counter for support. Now, lift your right foot about 2 to 3 inches off the ground. Just a small lift, you're not trying to do a flamingo pose here. Keep your standing leg slightly bent, don't lock your knee, and just hold that position for as long as you can, up to 30 seconds. When you're ready, switch to the other side. Left leg standing, right foot lifted. Here's why this works. When you stand on one leg, your peroneal stabilizer muscles have to fire constantly to keep you upright. Hundreds of tiny micro adjustments every second. This exercise wakes those muscles up and teaches them to respond automatically. Johns Hopkins researchers found that single leg balance training is the #1 predictor of fall prevention success in seniors. It's not about how long you can balance. It's about training your body to make those reflexive corrections without thinking. Now, here's your progression path. And this is important. Week 1. Hold the counter with both hands. That's totally fine. Build confidence first. Week 2. Use just your fingertips for light support. Week 3. Hands hovering near the counter but not touching close enough to grab if you need it. Week 4 and beyond, hands off completely, stand freely. And if you really want to challenge yourself after a month, try it with your eyes closed. That forces your proprioception to work even harder because you can't rely on your vision. But don't rush this progression. Every week of practice makes your ankles more reliable. Here's the functional payoff. This is the skill you use every single time you step over something, a pet, a curb, a garden hose. This is the skill you use when you reach up to get something off a high shelf and your weight shifts to one leg. This is the skill that keeps you upright when someone bumps into you at the grocery store. Single leg stability is the difference between recovering from a stumble and hitting the ground. Exercise number 1. Standing calf raises. This is it. The ultimate ankle strengthening exercise. This is what orthopedic surgeons prescribe after every single ankle surgery. This is the movement that rebuilds total ankle strength, stability, power, and control all in one exercise. If you can do 15 controlled repetitions of this exercise, your ankles are functionally strong enough to protect you. Here's how to do it. Stand behind a sturdy chair and place both hands lightly on the back of the chair for balance, not for body weight support, just stability. Your feet should be hip-width apart, toes pointing forward. Now, rise up onto your toes, as high as you possibly can. Get as tall as you can. Really push through the balls of your feet. Squeeze your calves hard at the top. Hold that top position for 2 full seconds. Then and listen carefully because this is where most people make a mistake. Lower yourself back down slowly. 3 to 4 seconds on the way down. Don't just drop. Control the descent. That slow, eccentric lowering is what builds tendon resilience and prevents future injuries. Do 10 to 15 repetitions with perfect form. Here's why this works. This exercise strengthens your entire calf-ankle complex, gastrocnemius, soleus, Achilles tendon, and all the smaller stabilizer muscles around the ankle joint. It builds the explosive strength your ankle needs to catch you during a stumble. Cleveland Clinic researchers found a direct correlation between calf raise strength and fall catch reflex speed. The stronger your calves, the faster your ankle can react when you lose your balance. That reaction time, those 200 milliseconds we talked about earlier, can only happen if your muscles are strong enough to fire quickly and powerfully. Now, here's the orthopedic surgeon standard. If you can do 15 controlled standing calf raises with a 2-second hold at the top and a slow descent, your ankles are functionally strong. If you can't do 15 yet, that's okay. Start with 5. Build up by 1 or 2 reps each week. Progress takes time, but it's happening with every single repetition. Here are the safety modifications you need to know. Use the chair for balance, not to hold up your body weight. If you're leaning heavily on the chair, you're not ready for standing calf raises yet. Go back to the seated version for another 2 weeks. Start with fewer reps and build gradually. 5 reps done perfectly is better than 15 reps done sloppily. And if you feel sharp pain, not muscle fatigue, but actual joint pain, stop immediately. That's your body telling you to slow down. Here's the functional payoff. This is the difference between tripping on a rug and catching yourself before you fall versus tripping on a rug and going straight to the ground. This is the strength that allows your ankle to react in 1/5 of a second when your foot lands wrong. This is the exercise that rebuilds the confidence to walk on uneven ground, to hike a trail, to step off a curb without thinking about it. This is the exercise that gives you your independence back. Now that you know all 5 exercises, let me show you exactly how to put them together into a daily routine that actually works. Because here's the reality. Knowing what to do means nothing if you don't know when to do it, how often to do it, and how to progress safely. So I'm going to give you the exact blueprint, the same one physical therapists use with their patients. This is your step-by-step roadmap from weak ankles to strong, stable, confident ankles in 12 weeks. Let's break it down. Here's your morning routine in order. Exercise number 5, ankle alphabet. 30 seconds each foot. That's 1 minute total. Exercise number 4, seated calf raises. 20 repetitions. That's about 40 seconds. Exercise number 3. Ankle dorsiflexion stretch. 30 seconds each side. That's 1 minute total. Exercise number 2. Single leg balance hold. 20 seconds each side. That's 40 seconds. Exercise number 1. Standing calf raises. 12 repetitions. That's about 1 minute. Add it all up, and you're looking at about 4.5 minutes when you first start. But here's what happens over time. As you get more efficient with the movements, as your body learns the patterns, you'll be able to complete this entire routine in under 2 minutes. That's less time than it takes to brew a cup of coffee. Do this every single morning, right after you get out of bed. Make it part of your routine as automatic as brushing your teeth. Because consistency is what builds strength. Not intensity, not perfection. Consistency, the 12-week progression. Now, let me show you what to expect as you move through this program. Weeks 1 through 3. Master the movements. Focus entirely on form, not reps or duration. Your only goal right now is to learn what each exercise feels like and to do it correctly every single day. Don't worry about how many reps you can do. Don't worry about how long you can balance. Just show up and practice. Weeks 4 through 6. Increase your reps and hold times. By now, the movements should feel familiar. Your body knows what to do. This is when you start pushing a little harder. Add 2 more calf raises. Hold your balance for 5 more seconds. Stretch a little deeper. This is where strength actually starts building. Weeks 7 through 9. Reduce your support. If you've been holding the chair with both hands during single leg balance, drop to one hand. Then fingertips, then hands off. If you've been leaning on the chair during standing calf raises, lighten your grip. Let your ankles do more of the work. This is where independence starts building. Weeks 10 through 12. Challenge yourself. Try single leg balance with your eyes closed. Do calf raises on a slightly uneven surface like a folded towel. Add a light weight to your seated calf raises. This is where confidence starts building. And after 12 weeks, you don't stop. You maintain. You keep doing this routine 3 to 4 times per week for the rest of your life. Because ankle strength isn't something you build once and forget about, it's something you maintain. Just like brushing your teeth or taking your vitamins. Let me tell you exactly what changes you should expect, week by week, so you know this is working. Week 2. Your ankles will feel less stiff in the morning. You'll notice it the moment you stand up out of bed. Week 4. Stairs will feel easier. You'll have more confidence on each step. Week 6. Your walking will feel smoother. Your stride will lengthen. You won't shuffle anymore. Week 8. You'll stop thinking about falling. That constant background anxiety when you walk on uneven ground, it starts to fade. Week 12. You'll be walking on grass, gravel, hills, surfaces you've been avoiding for years without fear. And here's what people tell me all the time after they finish this program. I didn't realize how much mental energy I was spending on worrying about falling until I stopped worrying about it. That's what strong ankles give you back. Not just physical strength, mental freedom. I want to be very clear with you about something. This isn't one of those do this for 7 days and see results gimmicks. This isn't a hack. This isn't a shortcut. This is a fundamental rebuilding of your ankle strength and stability, and that takes time. But here's what makes it worth it. The benefits don't just last for a few weeks and then disappear. This is a permanent upgrade to how your body moves and how you experience life after 60. Because when your ankles are strong, everything else improves. Let me show you what I mean. Strong ankles mean you don't need someone to walk with you to the mailbox. You don't need to hold someone's arm when you cross a parking lot. You don't need to call your daughter every time you want to take a walk around the neighborhood. You can do it yourself. And I know that might sound like a small thing, but it's not. Independence is dignity. Independence is the ability to live life on your own terms. Independence is waking up in the morning and knowing you can handle whatever the day throws at you. Uneven sidewalks, stairs, gravel, driveways, all of it without fear. Strong ankles give you the freedom to travel, to garden, to play with your grandchildren, to go places you've been avoiding because you were afraid of falling. That's not a small thing. That's everything. And here's what happens once you start moving with confidence again. Every week your ankles get stronger, your confidence grows. And when your confidence grows, you move more. You take more steps. You walk farther. You try new activities. And more movement protects everything else in your body. Your heart gets stronger. Your bones get denser. Your brain gets sharper. Your mood improves. Physical therapists call this the compound effect. One positive change creates a cascade of other positive changes. Strong ankles lead to more walking. More walking leads to better cardiovascular health. Better cardiovascular health leads to more energy. More energy leads to more social activity. More social activity leads to better mental health. It all starts with your ankles. Fix the foundation, and everything above it becomes more stable. Now, I don't want you to just take my word for this. Let me show you the research. The University of California conducted a long-term study tracking seniors who did ankle strengthening exercises 3 times per week for 6 months. Here's what they found. 52% fewer falls compared to the control group who didn't do ankle exercises. 67% improvement in what researchers call mobility confidence scores. Basically, how confident people felt walking in different environments. And here's the most important part. Those results were maintained for over 2 years after the study ended. 2 years. Because once you rebuild ankle strength, as long as you maintain it with regular practice, it doesn't just disappear. You're not starting over every few months. You're building something that lasts. So let me translate what those numbers actually mean in your real life. That 52% reduction in falls? That's the difference between living independently in your own home and having to move in with family or into assisted living because falling has become too dangerous. That 67% improvement in confidence? That's the difference between staying home because you're afraid to go out and actually living your life, traveling, visiting friends, attending events, being part of the world. That 2-year maintenance of results? That's the difference between a temporary fix and a permanent change in how you age. This isn't just about preventing falls. This is about preserving the life you want to live for as long as possible. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you one more time. This isn't trendy fitness advice from some influencer who's never worked with seniors. This is what orthopedic surgeons prescribe to their patients after ankle sprains, after surgeries, after hip replacements. This is rehabilitation medicine, simplified and adapted so you can do it safely in your own home. You're getting elite-level professional knowledge, the same protocols used in physical therapy clinics without needing a prescription, without needing insurance approval, without needing to schedule appointments. You have everything you need right now to start rebuilding your ankle strength tomorrow morning. And I need you to hear this, because I know some of you are sitting there thinking, it's too late for me. I'm too old. I'm too weak. My ankles are too far gone. That's not true. You are not too old. You are not too weak. You are not beyond help. You are undertrained. And that changes starting tomorrow. Your ankles didn't fail because of age. They failed because they weren't challenged. They weren't strengthened. They weren't given what they needed to stay strong. But now you know what they need, and now you can give it to them. Now, here's what I want you to do right now. Before you click away from this video, drop your age and your location in the comments below. I want to know how many of us are committing to stronger ankles this year. I want to see this community supporting each other. And tell me, which of those 5 warning signs did you recognize in yourself? Was it the morning stiffness? The fear of uneven surfaces? Not being able to do 15 calf raises? Let me know in the comments, because when you put it in writing, you're making a commitment, not just to me, to yourself. And finally, answer this question. Are you going to try this routine tomorrow morning? Yes or no? Put it in the comments, because accountability matters. And this community matters. If you want more routines like this, science-backed, senior-focused, simple to follow, actually effective, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because next week, I'm covering the #1 hip strengthening mistake that's secretly causing your knee pain. Most people have no idea they're doing it wrong. But once you fix it, the knee pain disappears almost immediately. You're not going to want to miss that one. Your ankles can get stronger. Your confidence can return. And it starts with just 2 minutes tomorrow morning. I'll see you in the next video.